Okay, so today we're going to look at under 3.5 goal strategy. I know this is a market a lot of you guys trade. A lot of you probably look for overs, but today we're going to look at under 3.5 goals. And we're going to look at what are the key stats to look at when we're creating a strategy like this, because I want to help empower you to be able to go away, start to learn to trade, and to start to look at the right stats that you're going to use. Okay, so I'm using the Betfair trading community software today. This is available to you all. So if you haven't checked it out already, just go to betfairtradingcommunity.com and check that out. So without further ado, let's go to the fixture search. I'm just going to type in today's date, and that will bring up today's games. And the game I'm going to look at in particular here is Helsingborg versus Degerfors. I did actually use this game on a prior video as well, but I found what could be a potential opportunity for under 3.5 goals. So the first thing you're going to want to look at is the overs under stats. Okay, and again, we make it so easy to do this in the Betfair trading community software. Just literally click of a button. What's the halftime scores? Oh, there they are. What's the full-time scores? Oh, there they are. What's the overs unders? There's literally every one. Okay, and I'm going to switch to percentages because I just like to look at percentages more, makes it more clear for me, and I love the round numbers. And one of the key things here is that we're also going to look for under 3.5 goals, which is down here. 80%. 80% of the time these teams have had under 3.5 goals. Now, for the league it's in, being a Scandinavian league, this is pretty high because usually these leagues tend to have lots of goals. So this really interests me because I don't think the under 3.5 goal odds will be super short. They'll be fairly short because they're always going to be fairly short. In general, matches don't have 4 goals, so it's always going to be odds on and fairly heavy odds on. But we'll have a look at the price and then we'll see where we go from there. So all you need to do is go to the live Betfair prices, and if the match is playing within the next 24 hours, they will be up. And we can see that the home team's favourite, interestingly, away not. And we're just going to go for the over under 3.5 market. We can see here that the under 3.5 odds are 1.34. Okay, so as we expected, fairly short. Okay, let's go have a look and we'll kind of get an idea of where 1.34 stands compared with the 80% strike rate that they've historically had. So if we head over to Odds Converter here, we can have a little look at this. This is on aceodds.com. Just hit Odds Converter and it will come up. And we can see that 80% here is odds of 1.25. Okay, now the odds here are 1.34. It's not massive value. Okay, it's bigger than it should be perhaps, but it's not massive value. So it feels like the market has taken into consideration the fact that they do have a lot of unders games, but it still is marginal value. So we're going to have a look at this game. Again, I'm not saying that this strategy or this stat or blah, blah, blah is what's going to win you a trade. I'm just telling you the key stats you'll want to look at so you can make your decision if you trade that match. And for me at the moment, I'm looking at this and going, this is marginal. I'm probably not going to take this from kickoff. I want to see where could there be an opportunity with this trade. So as we go back to the historical stats, let's go have a look at the full-time scores. Now, obviously, we know a ton of them aren't going to be over 3.5 goals, but let's have a look at the ones that are. Most of them are 2-all, okay? So actually, 15% of the results are 2-2, which is fairly high. 5% are 3-2. So interestingly, what I might do here is back under 3.5 and potentially cover those two outcomes. The problem is you are going to be taking up a lot of the market there. And if it does end up, say, 2-3 or 4-3, you're going to take a hit. So I wouldn't necessarily advise that as a great idea. I'm just giving you options and showing you the kind of thing to look at. But one danger score here, and perhaps the most dangerous score to your trade, is 2-2. So how would I play this? Well, let's have a look next at goal times. And again, this is really key to a lot of my trading. I really like to look at goal times because it gives you a sense of how they play their matches and what's happened historically, which often does give you a sense of how it might play out in this match. Now, notice I say the word might. It doesn't mean that because they score 16% of their goals in the first 10 minutes, that they're guaranteed to have a 16% chance of first goal in the first 10 minutes. But what it does suggest is that there's a chance of that. So here we go. Let's have a look. Now, we can see here, and straight off the bat, I know this already because I did it in another video on a different strategy. I know that there's a lot of first half goals with these teams. 57% of their goals come in half one. Okay, only 43% in the second half. Interesting. So how might I play this? How might I play this trade? Well, the obvious thing to me is I'm not going to get in this trade before half time. So what we need to happen, really, if we want to extract good values, we need at least a goal, maybe two, maybe even three in the first half. Because if we can get a goal or two, then the odds are going to shoot out. And that means that we will be able to back under 3.5 goals at much better odds. And we can expect that once it hits half time, the goals are going to slow down. So even if it's 2-1, there's a decent chance they don't score in the second half. There's a decent chance of that, right? We know that. We're looking at this going, well, the goal time suggests they're not crazy at scoring in the second half. Now, of course, that's a fairly big risk because 2-1, only one goal makes you lose your whole stake. I'd rather this was 1-0 or 1-1 or 2-0, for example. I'd rather it only had one or two goals at halftime. But if we do get an early goal and we get a couple of goals in the first half, this could be a really good one to trade at halftime and go, okay, I'm going to back under 3.5 goals now. Your price will be much nearer evens if there's been two goals. And as the price goes your way, you can drip your liability. You can take some of your risk out bit by bit. People ask me, actually, how do you do that? Let's say you have a £10 stake. If the price moves your way and you want to drip liability out, why not just take it out at £2 a time? So if you backed under 3.5 goals, well, when the price comes in your way, lay under 2.5 goals for that £2 stake. And as you do that, you'll be able to remove your whole £10 liability. And if there's no goal in that time, you'll have a nice green sitting on the other side of the market. And then at any point, you could green up. So you could let it run, take a bit more of a risk with it. Because remember, you're not going to lose any money on this market now. So you're in a really good position. That's always the position you want to try and get yourself in as a trader. You want to try and get yourself into a position where there's zero risk left. You've got green. It doesn't really matter where the green is because you can play with it. You could green up then and walk away and no one would criticize you for it. Or you could go, I'm going to let this run another few minutes because I don't think there's going to be two goals. And then if there's not, I'll be able to take a green. And the worst case scenario, once you've removed liability, is that you make £0. And all you've wasted is your time and effort. But perhaps you've learned a bit about trading and a bit about when to take your green. So, it could be a very valuable lesson that hasn't actually cost you any money. Any training you can get for free is great, such as this video on YouTube right now. So that's one of the things I want you to consider when you're trading the under 3.5 goal market. It's rare that you're going to get a great price pre-match. Do you want to be banking at 1.34 pre-match in a market like this? I don't, not particularly. Like I say, if you follow some other videos or my other work, I don't really like getting in below 1.5 when I'm backing something. I always feel like that's kind of where I'm happy, 1.5 or above. And some people don't even like getting in at odds on. But what we want to happen here is that, we can see they do score a fair bit in the first half. Maybe we can take advantage of that. Let's have a quick look at the halftime score. So only 25% of the time it's 0-0 at halftime. So we can expect, hey, we're going to get a goal a lot of the time here. And 25, 30, 35% of the time, we're going to get at least two. Well, if it is 1-1, if it is 2-0, if it is 0-2, they would be really good scorelines to get in on. 1-2, 2-1, 3-0, 0-3, one more goal kills us. It's one of those where, so here's what I do in that scenario, just quickly before I finish. I'll try and fit this in. Here's what I do, right? If there's 3 goals in the first half, I would go, I'm going to get in here if I think that there's a chance they won't score another goal, but I'm not going to go big on it. I'm going to use a small stake. And at the end of the day, the odds will be quite big to back under 3.5 at that point. Maybe like 4, 5.0, something like that. So you don't have to stake big there. And it's a bit of an all or nothing trade. You go, right, I'm going in, small stake, but I'm fully aware I could lose that stake. So that's what I'd do in that scenario. But again, it's all up to you. That's the beauty of Betfair trading. I can give you great advice, what stats to look at, some good ideas for trading. But for you to create this trading strategy, you want to use some of these stats and put it all together and give it some good testing. Hopefully today I've helped explain which bits you should use and which bits are really important as a Betfair trader to look at. Okay guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed the video, can you say the words under 3.5? That lets me know that you've liked the video, but it also means that I'm able to produce more of these because, I'll know that you like it and there's a point to doing it. There's no point me doing it if no one responds to it, and that means I won't do that and I'll go and do something different. The other thing that's good is if you could comment, like, and subscribe. I know it's annoying when people say this, right? But the thing is, we give this away for free. We've given you all this info for free. It's really good Betfair trading info. So if you could do that little thing for us, it doesn't cost you anything, does it? YouTube's free. It's free to watch our videos. We don't put a price barrier on those. And like I say, that means that I can keep doing them for you. I can keep making them for you because we can't do it if we don't get the support. All right, guys, hope you have a great week and hope you make some money trading on Betfair.